In this lesson, we're going to go in and start adding some thickness and some sub-D resolution to the hood panels that we've already created. Okay, so we've got the pieces of our hood here cut up nicely for us. Now all we need to do is start going in and adding some of the thickness and some of the lines that we need to in order to smooth this into a sub-D surface. Okay, so the first one we're going to tackle is this hood. I'm just going to select all these faces, and I'm just going to extrude those down just slightly once, and then repeat that. And then I'll just delete those faces. You can see since we extruded down, it's kind of given us a reversed surface. So what I'm going to do is just reverse those normals. And then all we have to do is go in and add a little bit of resolution along these sides because we want these edges to be nice and sharp. Okay. I'm going to just add an edge along each of these sides and then one right along the top here. Okay. Now because we have two identical panels on each side, I'm just going to do one of those. I'm going to do this one. I'm going to treat it, try to do this exact same thing that I did to the hood so that the resolution will match up. And the hardness of the edges will be very similar. So I'm going to extrude that down, repeat that, extrude it down again, delete those faces. And I'll just reverse those normals. Go ahead and delete our history on these. And now we're just going to add that same kind of resolution along this side of this. Okay. And just trying to match that up so that these edges are as close as possible there. Here we go. Just delete that history on that. And now I'll just Control D, scale that over and freeze it, which as you know sets that special setting we talked about earlier. So I'm going to go ahead and reverse those normals. And now we've got three nice panels with the thickness and the sub-D res added. Delete the history on that. On this one we're going to treat it a little bit differently. We want this one to be a little bit below the hood and kind of come up and overlap the windshield a little bit. So I'm going to select all these points right here. Make sure I got all this selected. And I'm just going to scale, or rather translate those down just a little bit. Okay, now I'm just going to select all these faces. And instead of extruding down, I'm going to go ahead and extrude up. I'm going to come up just below the hood and repeat that, come up one more just a little bit. Okay, and now we want to actually not get rid of those faces, but we want to get rid of the faces on the bottom. So I'm going to go and select all of these guys and just blow those away. And then we might need to actually go in and add one more edge right along here to get that sharpness going. You could probably even get rid of these interior edges, or faces rather, since it's intersecting right into the hood. I think that that would probably be a good idea. Then we don't have to carry that resolution, however small it may be. The fact is we don't really need it, so let's get rid of it. Just select those faces, just the ones facing towards the trunk or the hood there. And these guys. We'll move that down in just a second. Now that will be, there'll be a panel coming up along here that will cover that up, so can keep those. You can see right over here. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get rid of those. And now let's go ahead and sub-D this and see how it looks. Just kind of isolate those so we can see them all together here. And now I'm just going to select them all and let's just convert those to sub-D. It looks like, let's see, did we get rid of that face right there? Looks like we kept it on that side. I'm going to go ahead and add it back in here. I'm going to just extrude that down. There we go. And that edge back in there, and then we'll just merge those vertices. Yeah, like that. And let's try that again. Delete that history, and then convert that to a sub D. And so we've got our hood piece and the two side pieces, and then this guy back here, all kind of fitting together nicely as a sub D surface. All right, that looks pretty good. So in the next lesson, let's actually come in, and if we take a look at our front view here, you can see there's a big scoop right in the middle of our hood, right in here. So we're going to go in and actually extrude that in and see how we can create that sharp scoop shape in the middle of this curved hood. Okay, we'll tackle that in the next lesson.